Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of Poetry Live. I hope you're in the mood to be romance, because tonight I am reading Andrew Marvell, probably one of the best, most romantic, most seductive poets in all of the history of the world ever. So welcome. Hello, everyone. Hi, Queen. Hello, Catanio. Hi, Jackson and Black Rabbit. Hello, Sarah and Scream. Hello, H and Marissa. Hello, everybody. Come in. Welcome. Great to see you all. Just recovering still. Last night's poetry, for those of you who missed it, had some great but silly. Hello, Taz. Hello, come in. And hello, Julia. Take up a seat, guys. We've got room for more. Pull up a chair. Come in close before I get into tonight's poems. I am so looking forward to sharing this stuff with you guys. I am very, very happy indeed. This will be good. So welcome. Come in. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yesterday's broadcast. When we're done here, I'm putting yesterday's broadcast up on the website, SimonTellsTales.com. For any of you who haven't been there to see the new website, last night's broadcast will go up after this show. Hi, Lindsay. How are you? Welcome to tonight's show. It's great to see you again. Tonight, as I've said, we are doing some Andrew Marvell. So you can expect to have some wonderful things. Do I indeed? I'm glad I break that stereotype. So poetry, there's so much more to poetry than being depressed. There is some wonderful, beautiful things in there to mix up amongst everything, and I'm just very, very happy to be able to share all of this with you tonight. So what shall we? I'm not going to stop. We'll close it on His Coy Mistress, by the way. For those of you who are here for His Coy Mistress, we will do that one at the end. Something to wipe up the end with. I know you guys will be looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. It will be good fun. Anyway, this, more smiting, more naked nights, more poetry, more romance. That's what we like to see. Anyway, here we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is The Fair Singer. To make a final conquest of all me, love did compose so sweet an enemy, in whom both beauties to my death agree, joining themselves in fatal harmony, that while she with her eyes my heart does bind, she with her voice might captivate my mind. I could have fled from one but singly fair, my disentangled soul itself might save, breaking the curled trammels of her hair. But how should I avoid to be her slave, whose subtle art invisibly can wreath my fetters of the very air I breathe? It had been easy fighting in some plain, where victory might hang in equal choice. But all resistance against her is vain, who has the advantage both of eyes and voice. and all my forces needs must be undone. She, having gained both the wind and the sun. There we go. That was the Fair Singer to start off the moment, to start off the evening with you all, my lovely, lovely people. Thank you for coming. Next. Oh, I think the hair in question is the His Coy Mistress. Surely that's the woman everyone wants to be. One might think. Anyway, this next poem that I shall read is... Which one shall I go for? So many to choose from. Let's have for our next poem. Well, we like the ladies to be happy, don't we? That's what we want. Some good poems for some good ladies. This is the match. Nature had long a treasure made of all her choicest store, fearing when she should be decayed to beg in vain for more. Her orientist colours there and essences most pure, with sweetest perfumes hoarded were, all as she thought secure. She seldom them unlocked or used but with the nicest of care, for with one grain of them diffused she could wend the world repair. But lightness soon together drew what she did separate lay, of which one perfect beauty grew, and that was Celia. Love wisely had of long foreseen that he must once grow old, and therefore stored a magazine to save him from the cold. He kept the several cells replete with nitre thence refined, the naphthas and the sulphur's heat, and all that burns the mind. He fortified the double gate, and rarely thither came, for with one spark of these he straight all nature could inflame. Till by vicinity so long and near away they sought, and grown magnetically strong into each other wrought, thus all his fuel did untie to make one fire high. None ever burned so hot, so bright, and Cecilia, that am I. So we alone the happy rest, whilst all the world is poor, and have within ourselves possessed all love's and nature's store. How is that, ladies and gentlemen? Nature and love itself, being aware that one day it would become old and would lose its grip on the world, that the world would begin to fade and decay in winter time, has set aside perfection and beauty in Celia, so that as darkness falls upon the world, it might have something beautiful, something so powerful and strong that all of nature could inflame from it. So we alone the happy rest, whilst all the world is poor, and have within ourselves possessed all love's and nature's store. That's what we want. That's good stuff there. Anyway, this next poem We'll flip from perfect love to the unfortunate lover instead. Alas, how pleasant are their days with whom the infant love yet plays. Sorted by pairs, they still are seen by fountains cool and shadows green. But soon these flames do lose their light like meteors of a summer's night. Nor can they do that region climb to make impression upon time. 'Twas in a shipwreck, when the seas ruled and the winds did what they pleased, that my poor lover floating lay, and ere brought forth was cast away, till at the last the master wave upon the rock his mother drave, and there she split against the stone in a Caesarean section. The sea him lent these bitter tears, which at his eyes he always bears, and from the winds the sighs he bore, which through his surging breast do roar. No day he saw but that which breaks through frightened clouds in forked streaks, while round the rattling thunder hurled, as at the funeral of the world. While nature to his birth presents this mask of quarrelling elements, a numerous fleet of cormorants black that sailed insulting o'er the wreck, received into their cruel care the unfortunate and abject heir, guardians most fit to entertain the orphan of the hurricane. They fed him with hopes and air, which soon digested to despair. And as one cormorant fed him still, another on his heart did bill, and thus, while they famished him and feast, he both consumed and increased, and languaged with doubtful breath, the amphibian of life and death. And now, when angry heaven would behold a spectacle of blood, fortune and he are called to play at sharp before it all the day, and tyrant love his breast does ply with all his winged artillery, whilst he, between the flames and waves, like Ajax the mad tempest braves. See how he naked and fierce does stand, cuffing the thunder with one hand, while the other he does lock and grapple with the stubborn rock, and which he with each wave rebounds, torn into flames and ragged with wounds, and all he says a lover dressed in his own blood does relish best. This is the only banneret that ever love created yet, who thought by the malignant stars forced to live in storms and wars, yet dying leaves a perfume here, and music within every ear. And he in story only rules, in a field sable a lover rules. That is possibly the best explanation of why we have red skies over the sea. Why do you get red skies over the sea at the end of the day or the start of the day? It's because of a passionate lover who was broken upon the ship, upon the sea's rocks, and whose blood does spread from his heart across the sky. I, for one, believe it. I think that's a nice one to believe. And thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy that. Well, now you know why Black Rabbit. Now you know what caused them in the first place. Anyway, this last poem that I'll do for you tonight. So do one. No, we're going to do two. We're going to do two last poems tonight. This is the definition of love by Marvell, our penultimate poem of the evening. My love is of a birth as rare as 'tis for objects strange and high. It was begotten by despair upon impossibility. Magnanimous despair alone could show me so divine a thing, where feeble hope could never have flown, but vainly flapped its tinsel wing. And yet I quickly might arrive where my extended soul is fixed, but fate does iron wedges drive, and always crowns itself betwixt. For fate with jealous eyes does see two perfect loves, nor lets them close. Their union would her ruin be, and her tyrannic power dispose. And therefore her decrees of steel us, as the distant poles have placed, though love's whole world on us doth wheel, not by themselves to be embraced, unless the giddy heaven fall, and earth some new convulsion tear, and us to join the world should all be crammed into a planisphere. As lines so love's oblique may well themselves in every angle greet, but ours so truly parallel, though infinite, can never meet. Therefore the love which us doth bind, but fate so enviously debars, is the conjunction of the mind and opposition of the stars. Therefore the love which us doth bind, but fate so enviously debars, is the conjunction of the mind and opposition of the stars. How beautiful is that? That conflict between the mind and the eternal physical, this huge, incredibly vast thing, that if you think about it, when Marvell was writing this to begin with, the secrets of the universe were still unknown. They hadn't been discovered properly. We are talking the 1600s, and yet he found in that infinite, vast expanse of stars to be in conjunction with the love in his mind, I think. Well, I think stars certainly signifying fate there, as a throw to good old Bill Shakespeare. Oh, jazz lines, so loves of it may well in every angle greet. I can see some quotes coming up for Instagram from that one. I can, Jackson. That was a very strong poem, though I can see that's. If you haven't, Jackson, if you haven't read that to your classes at school yet, I think that might be one to introduce to the curriculum. It's a poem. I haven't, Susan. I haven't. I am, though, going to round off with one final poem of the evening. This is actually one of my favourite poems of all time. It's got to be up there in fab, Andrew. I said that, Andrew Jackson. Fab. Jackson. Oh well, I'm planning on checking Instagram later, so hopefully I'll see it then, Susan. Well, excellent, Queen. That's what we want. We want captivatingness, and you have to be captivated for this. This is, do you know, possibly, I mean, when I say this is one of my favourite poems of all time, I mean, I'm talking like within my top 3 favourite poems, the one that I'm about to read to you guys. Really, we're talking that high. This is in my top 3, possibly within my top 2. Naked and captivating. It's just, we've started a trend here. It's the only way to really enjoy the show, I think, is to be naked. Clearly I'm not enjoying it as much as I could because I'm wearing a jumper, but you don't know what's happening beneath the desk. In that sort of thing, The Sun Rising by John Donne, and then probably the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. So Prufrock, The Sun Rising, and To His Coy Mistress. I know, I'm awful, I know. Yes, that word just follows us around. It follows us around. Anyway, this This is in my top 3. Excellent, Wax. That's it. That's a true fan. That's a true fan. Gosh, what am I starting here? Let's go for it. This is a poem designed in the spirit of nakedness to get a woman to take off her clothes as quickly as possible. And if poetry isn't used for that, what should it be used for? Had we but world enough and time, to his coyness, lady, were no crime, we would sit down and think which way to walk and pass our long love's day. Thou by the Indian Ganges side should rubies find, I by the tide of Humber would complain. I would love you 10 years before the flood, and you should, if you please, refuse till the conversion of the Jews. My vegetable love should grow vaster than empires, and more slow. 100 years should go to praise thine eyes, and on thy forehead gaze. 200 to adore each breast, but 30,000 to the rest. An age at least to every part, and the last age should show your heart. For, lady, you deserve this state, nor would I love at lower rate. But at my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurry near, and yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity. Thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault shall sound my echoing song. Then worms shall try that long-preserved virginity, and your quaint honour turn to dust, and into ashes all my lust. The graves are fine and private place, but none, I think, do there embrace. And therefore, while the youthful hue sits on thy skin like morning dew, and while thy soul transpires at every pore with instant fires, now let us sport while we may, and now, like amorous birds of prey, rather at once our time devour than languish in his slow-chapped power. Let us roll all our strength and all our sweetness up into one ball and tear our pleasures with rough strife throughout the iron gates of life. Thus, though we cannot make our sun stand still, yet we will make him run. That's okay, so Sarah, just read your car that poem. I'm sure it's enough to get most hearts started. It's certainly enough to not need jump leads. Though I would take jump leads as a backup, Sarah. So I hope your car starts well and it's nothing too serious. And there we have it. That was To His Coy Mistress. Probably my second favourite poem in all the world. I think that's beautiful. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you all. So, did we enjoy that? The graves are fine and private place, but none, I think, do their embrace. And now let us sport while we may, and like amorous birds of prey, rather at once our time devour. Did anyone ever do a better job of explaining the need to take love quickly? Well, you know, that's what clearly, Jackson, the idea is, you know, you're meant to have given in to Marvell's advances before it gets to that line. If you're reading it to your lover, possibly editing out the worms eating at the virginity, it's a bit creepy, but the rest of it is still good, and I think it makes up for it at the end. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, Rabbit. I'm glad it had resonance with you and that you had some stuff there. But yes, don't delay, seize love where you find it, grab hold of it, make use of it. That's what it's there for. Don't let it go old, which is a wonderful, wonderful thought to have. Just a bit. Poets are very complicated. We're a very complicated bunch, but that's what we like to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, hello, Jenny. Thanks for dropping through. Well, yeah, we do. And the great thing is, Susan, we all take a slightly different approach to the poetry, which is a very, very nice thing indeed, to have all these different viewpoints and perspectives coming together over something that I think we can all enjoy. Anyway, I must now love you and leave you, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't had had any time this morning to go and sort out various behind the scenes stuff for Simon Tells Tales. I want to get yesterday's shows loaded up onto the website and to get today's show loaded up onto the website as well. So I will love you and leave you now. Thank you so much for coming as I run off to go and fiddle with the website. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Scream. Thank you, Taz. Thank you, Julie and Black Rabbit. Thank you, Jackson. Jackson, you've changed your name on here as well. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Jedi and Roger and Marcella. Thank you, Susan. I hope your plumbing issues are sorted. And thank you, Jenny, coming through at the end there. And I'm glad that I loved you guys well. For I do. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, night, wherever you are. I shall catch up with you guys very, very shortly. And go and load up some more fun content onto the website. See you very, very soon. Good night.